Today we're going to look at the Westmoreland Bulldog. Thanks to the granddaddy of them all, the Bulldog doorstop, and its popularity. I believe around the 1920s Westmoreland came out with the 2.5 inch Bulldog and produced that right up through the close. And the Collectors Club even acquired the mold and had some commemoratives made. The one on the end here is from 2006. That would be the newest one I have, and this one was decorated by Ernie Brown, the head decorator at Westmoreland, signed and dated 2006. Very happy to have that in my collection. I believe I have them lined up oldest to newest because of the mold detail, and glass shows its age too, and the collar painting and stuff. The first thing that people look for when they're collecting Westmoreland Bulldogs, the older ones, they did have no Westmoreland mark on them, and they didn't come out with the stickers yet. But you look for a collar hasp, where the collar comes together, is on the right hand side. I have a example of what I believe to be tiffin here, where the collar closing is on the other side. That's the first giveaway. So it's the dog's left hand side, your right hand side if you're looking at it. They were molded with sunken eyes so stones could be added, or if they didn't put stones in them, they just put a spot of black paint in. They did it in milk glass, opal, black, white, almond. This guy's an almond. They also did it in clearer, translucent colors. You can see through the bottom of this one that is not a milk glass. It's treated on the outside to give it that buff appearance. And I believe all these are Westmoreland. We have some with stickers on the back. We have some with factory stickers underneath that say Westmoreland. And since they're all identical, the ones that aren't marked, I will assume are Westmoreland. Now in the latter years, they did start putting a W on the chest of the dog. It's right here. I believe there's a WG there, but you can only really see the W because of its size. They used the same size WG on most of their products whenever they included it, but on here, because of the size of the thing being made, the Bulldog, it's only 2.5 inches. It's a much smaller stamp. The biggest puzzle I have in my collection is this green-eyed guy. He's identical in almost every way to the Westmoreland, except if I put a Westmoreland on either side and put a straight ruler on there, he is that much shorter. Also on the back, the mold seam where the mold came together is here on the Westmoreland, and his is an 1/8 inch lower, so he's definitely a different mold. Now, Westmoreland made these for a long time, and you can see on quite a few of these where the detail of the back foot starts to go away. Some of the muscle detail starts to go away, especially if they sandblasted it to put a satin surface on. A lot of detail disappears. But even on this new one that the Collectors Club had made, there's almost no back foot, and some of the muscle detail is gone. And the mold seams, where the mold came together, get more flash on them, more distinct interruption in the pattern because the mold is worn. So if Westmoreland had more than one mold, and they probably had to since it was in production so long, either one of these, well, we know the one is, but this one could be Westmoreland also, even though he's a bit shorter. Somebody is welcome to take exception to that. I'd be pleased to hear if you have another opinion. But the other difference is, and it's going to be real hard to see on video, is the end of the collar. After you pass the belt through the hasp, the end of the collar on all of them is thin, except this one, it's wider. That's the only real difference. This one seems to have muscles going a little back, further down the back, or skin folds. But the end of that hasp is right down here. I hope you can see that. It's a full slope from either side coming to a point. On this one, it comes to a point very quickly, almost like a knife point. Very sharp, different angle, much different angle. Other than that, you can look for little squiggles in the ears. They're all identical. Some are a little deeper than others. This one has the one that may not be Westmoreland, has the most detail, the deepest detail, and may have been one of the first molded. And as things start to disappear later, like this back of the front leg has a lot of detail here, and not so much in some of the other examples. Now, as I stated before, the tiffin piece has the buckle on the opposite side. But then comes along what happened to the mold right after Westmoreland closed is Phil Rosso from near Pittsburgh started making these. I don't know whether he used Summit Glass or Boyd or both in Ohio to continue using the Westmoreland mold and making these little puppies. From what I've read over the years and years ago, the first few batches he did not put the R on the hip. This one has a distinct R. You can also tell on the dog's left hip, right if you're looking at it. And you can also tell by the type of glass that it wasn't made at the Westmoreland factory. But that is the Westmoreland mold. Much the same with the commemorative that the Collectors Club had put out. It's the Westmoreland mold made in another glass factory. I don't know who has the mold now, so I'm sure one of the members of the club does know who has that mold now. And finally, this little guy. He's probably the oldest of all my Bulldogs. And he is a little cutie. He was clear glass painted with browns and blacks. He lost one eyeball. He's a World War I survivor, I'm sure. He could either come from a small glass house in Ohio or possibly from overseas, Czechoslovakia or someplace. He's had a rough life, but he's safe in my curio now, so he gets to live out his old age amongst his younger friends. Well, there's a quick tutorial on the Westmoreland Glass Bulldogs. I hope you enjoy it. I think we're going to do one on penguins next. No, owls. I can't wait for that. Happy hunting.